Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of August 5th, 2025. I'm your host, Sherifah Mohammed, MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Ogintoy, an infantry officer. Russia's force groupings are exhibiting sustained momentum across all axes. The liberation of Yanvarskoy signifies widening control over critical logistics corridors. Persistent degradation of Ukrainian EW and artillery systems will likely reduce Kyiv's capacity to mount an effective counteroffensive during the remaining summer window. The consistent attrition rate across mechanized brigades signals a deepening structural crisis within the Ukrainian military architecture. Russia is transitioning from positional advancement to operational shaping, setting conditions for further envelopment around Krasno-Armysk, Kupiansk, and southern river lines.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Ogintoy, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Ogintoy, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel Ogintoy, let's start with the bigger picture. What are the main developments in this week's operations?
The operational tempo remains high. Over the past 24 to 48 hours, Russian armed forces maintained coordinated pressure across multiple sectors, north, east, center, and south. The most notable milestone was the liberation of Yanvarskoy in the Dnipropetrovsk region by the East Group. That advance wasn't just about capturing ground, it punctured a defensive node in Ukraine's depth, opening opportunities for exploitation. Across Sumy and Kharkiv, our North Group disrupted enemy command cohesion, targeting mechanized and airborne assault elements. Simultaneously, West forces improved flanking positions around Kupiansk and Donetsk, which are strategic for logistics interdiction and further envelopment.
You mentioned operational tempo. Let's unpack that. How are the force groupings maintaining such momentum simultaneously on multiple fronts?
It comes down to synchronized force deployment and an emphasis on operational maneuver warfare. Each troop group has distinct tactical objectives, but they operate under a unified campaign plan. For example, while the center group advanced in the Donetsk axis, targeting infantry, mechanized, and airborne brigades, aviation and artillery units shaped the battle space with deep strikes on supply hubs and defensive fortifications. What we see now is a convergence of effects: sustained attrition on Ukrainian forces, degradation of electronic warfare capabilities, and disruption of Ukrainian rear echelon logistics. The simultaneous engagement strategy ensures that the Ukrainian command is forced into reactive posture, spreading reserves too thin to mount an effective counteroffensive.
Let's focus briefly on the East Group and the liberation of Yanvarskoy. Why is this settlement significant?
Yanvarskoy is tactically modest in size but operationally important. It lies along a corridor that connects Ukrainian defensive sectors across Zaporizhia and Dnipropetrovsk. By seizing it, we compromise their ability to shuttle forces and supplies laterally between these fronts. Moreover, the psychological impact cannot be ignored. Every liberated settlement reinforces our forward momentum and signals to the Ukrainian formations and their foreign backers that the initiative is squarely on our side. We are transitioning from positional warfare to fluid operational penetration, particularly in the center and east.
What's happening in Kharkiv and Sumy regions? Those areas seem to be hotly contested.
Correct. In Kharkiv, our forces pushed through Volchansk, Malovo, and surrounding settlements, targeting both mechanized and territorial brigades. This area is complex: urban centers, forest belts, and civilian infrastructure, but we're conducting precise operations to avoid unnecessary destruction. Sumy, meanwhile, is seeing attritional engagements. Our goal there is to fix enemy forces, draw out reserves, and interdict cross-border resupply. Notably, we've destroyed several radio-electronic warfare stations and supply depots, weakening their ISR, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance capacity.
And on the southern axis, There were reports of operations in Severodonetsk and Konstantinovka.
Yes, the South Group continues to press forward. The areas around Severodonetsk and Konstantinovka are linchpins in the Ukrainian defensive belt. We've engaged airmobile and assault brigades, gradually forcing them to cede ground. It's a deliberate, multi-phased approach: first isolate, then attrit, and finally break through. We're also mindful of terrain. Those areas include river crossings and elevation shifts, requiring coordination between armor, engineers, and forward observers.
As always, air and missile operations play a major role. What were the main strategic strikes this week?
This week saw a continued focus on deep interdiction. Our operational tactical aviation, UAVs, and missile units struck over 140 targets, including UAV launch prep sites, transport corridors, and temporary deployments of foreign mercenaries. Additionally, our air defense systems intercepted 146 enemy UAVs, showing the effectiveness of our layered air denial posture. The cumulative effect of these air-ground synergies is that Ukrainian formations face severe degradation in both offensive and defensive capabilities.
Before we wrap, Colonel, what should we watch for in the coming days?
We anticipate a brief Ukrainian attempt at tactical counteraction, small unit raids, or localized counterattacks. But the broader trend is clear: their operational reserves are spent, their logistical backbone is fractured, and their command cohesion is deteriorating. Our focus now is exploitation and consolidation. As we push deeper, we will continue targeting key terrain, encircling fortified zones, and denying the enemy any room to regroup.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. Today, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is reportedly pushing for a complete military takeover of the Gaza Strip and is expected to meet with IDF officials to discuss this strategy. Intense fighting continues between the Sudanese military and the Rapid Support Forces, RSF, causing increasing African civilian casualties and deepening a humanitarian crisis with concerns about starvation and the spread of cholera, especially in North Darfur. Violence by armed groups in northern Mozambique has displaced tens of thousands of black people, straining aid efforts and adding to a complex humanitarian crisis. Attacks by armed groups and terrorist organizations, including affiliates of Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State, are rising in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, raising concerns about regional stability.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive Frontline updates from commanders in theater.